Welcome back to my channel, and to those who are new here, it's Laura here, and I'll be taking you through quadratic expressions. Okay, I really love this topic. Since I was in O level, I really loved this topic. So I just hope the way I will explain it will make you also love it the way I like it. Okay, so on chapter 3, we are going to talk about quadratic expressions. These are solution. We have to simplify this first part A. It reads 2a minus 5 bracket a plus 7 in brackets to expand the following. So we are just required to expand. So we are going to say 2a minus. Okay, so to simplify this, I'll say I'll expand 2a times a is going to give me 2a squared. Then plus 2a times 4 is going to be 14a. 14a plus, then we put it in brackets. Should I put it in brackets? No, I won't put it in brackets. So we multiply first this part with this. 2a times a is going to be 2a squared plus 2a times 7 is going to be plus 14a. Okay, so the second part will be minus 5 times a will give us minus 5a, and also saying minus 5 times 7, and you're going to get minus 35. Or let me just put it. Or you can say for this part 2a minus 5 bracket a plus 7 is good. I can also say 2a bracket 2a times a plus 7, then minus 5 times this also, which is in brackets, a plus 7. That's the same part as I have done here. It's just that for this part I skipped stages, and for this part I've shown all stages. So if we simplify this part, we have to reach to this part. Okay, so gonna give us 2a squared plus 14a minus 5a minus 35. Okay, to simplify this, we get 2a squared, then we subtract this part. 14a minus 5a is gonna give us 9a minus 35. Then this is in its simplest form. Okay, so I would encourage you to use this one, since this one would give you more marks. It shows the grouping method. You can say this, it's just simplifying. Okay. For part B, it reads, let me use a different marker. This one is okay, for part B, it reads 3x minus 7, 5x plus 1 minus x plus 2 bracket x plus 5. Okay, so we just simplify as we did in our first example. Is equal to say 3x bracket 5x plus 1 minus 7 bracket 5x plus 1. We put overall brackets, okay, for the first part here, minus bracket again, we put the overall bracket and say x plus 5 plus 2 x plus 5 bracket and the overall bracket for the second part. Now we simplify. Is equal to, for simplifying we say 15x squared plus 3x minus 25x minus 7 times plus 1 is gonna give us minus 7. We put the bracket again. Minus, for the second part we say x by x is x squared plus 5x plus 2x plus 10. Okay, we simplify those in brackets first. 15 squared 3x minus 25x, you get minus 22x minus 7 minus, remember that I've put a bracket, a closing bracket for my first part, minus x squared 5x plus 2x, we are adding like terms together, plus 10. We continue with simplifying, then we remove brackets. Now it's gonna be 15x squared minus 22x minus 7. We multiply this minus 1 here into everything that's in the bracket. That should give us minus x squared minus times x squared, then minus times plus 7 minus 7x squared minus times 10, again minus 10. Okay, so this would be my answer. Please, my board is ending this part, so I'll wrap off here so that we can have some space. Okay, okay, so for this part we now simplify. 15x squared minus x squared. This was 7x, not x and 7. 15x squared minus x squared, we get 14x squared. We cancel them out. Minus 22x minus 7. What do we get? We get minus 29x. Cancel this. Minus 7 minus 10, we get minus 17. And so this is our final answer after being expanded. Okay? So solution. We're going to say for the first part, the question reads, factorize the following. So we have ax minus bx minus by minus ay. Okay, so as you can see, these are already grouped. Like we have the x's, we have the y's. That's what it means to be grouped. To put like terms together. Okay, so we're going to say equals to, we take like terms together, right? So for this part, we take out the common factor. So but the common factor for the first part is x. We say x outside bracket a minus b. So if you take out your common factor, you have to make sure that when you multiply it back, it has to go back to its original part that it was. And for the second part, you can say minus y. Since minus is common for the both part and y is also common, then you say b. If we take this part, it's going to be positive plus a. I don't know if you actually got me on that, but if you didn't understand, please say something for this part. You take all the common factors. The negative and the negatives are common, so you take them out. Then the y and y are common, you also take y out, and you remain with b plus a. And make sure that when you multiply it back, it has to go when you multiply this part, it has to go back and fit exactly as it was in the first place. Okay, we continue by simplifying. Then we say we have this as common. Now we take x minus y. We say x minus 1, bracket, and a minus b. Okay. So for the first part, we have factorize. What is to factorize? To factorize is to put brackets. To those who didn't know, is to put brackets. Okay, so for our second part, our part B, it reads x squared minus x minus 72. So for this part, we draw a triangle. We put our 72 here. Forward. So now what do? We find a number with which here we write 72, and we find common factors with which if we multiply them, they give us 72. But if we subtract them, they have to give us a minus 1. As you can see, this part, the coefficient of this part is minus 1. So if we multiply, we have to get 72. But if we subtract, they have to give us a minus 1. I just hope you understand this. Okay, so this part would say is equal to x squared minus, so what would give us a minus 1? That would be, if we say minus 9x plus 8x, this would give us a minus 1, minus 72. Okay, so here it will be minus 9 and 8. You put your factors in. Then we simplify. We simplify this part, x out. Why do we say x out? Because it is the common factor. And since here the common factor is x, we put x, and we remain with another x, minus 9. We simplify the second part again. You have to know that if we get x minus 9 here, also this part you have to also get x minus 9. So that will be x minus 9. Bracket. We simplify x by x, get positive 8. Minus 9 into minus 72. It also gives us positive 8. Meaning that we are correct. Okay? We simplify. For this part, we're going to put it in brackets x plus 8 bracket and also x minus 9 bracket. So this will be the final answer. 4x squared minus 9y squared is equals to, we simplify this part. Remember that these are, remember, note that and b, a squared minus b squared, this is the same as a minus b plus a plus b times a plus b. Okay, so x squared, 2 squared x squared minus 3 squared y squared. And if you simplify this, you get, for this part, it's going to be 2x minus 3y bracket 2x plus 3y. According to this, so for following quadratic equations of the same solution, I will not simplify all of them since I have shown you how it stands. So what I'm going to take maybe A and C, and the rest in B you simplify it on your own. Okay, so for A, it's gonna be x squared minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. As you have seen, to draw a triangle for such a sum, you write your 10 here. You find the two numbers by which if you multiply them, they give you 10. and if you subtract them, they give you minus 3. Okay, so for this one it would give us, it would be 5 and 2. Okay, so for us to obtain minus 3, 5 has to be a negative. Okay, so that's it. So we're going to say x squared. So instead of us writing 3x here, we write it in an expanded form. But the expanded form gives us minus 3x. That's why we do this, okay? Minus 5x minus, here we say plus 2x minus 10 is equal to 0, okay? Now we simplify bracket x, factor out the common factor, x minus 5. And remember, what you have obtained in this bracket is the same as what you have to obtain here, x minus 5 bracket. We simplify x by x, then we get plus 2 is equal to 0. And here it's going to be, if we simplify this part, it's going to be x, we put this in brackets, x plus 2, and x minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, so just finish this here. So here we obtain x plus 2 bracket x minus 5 is equal to 0. We simplify this. If there is an equal sign here, you will have to simplify and find the actual values of x's. So for the first part, we say x plus 2 is equal to 0. Second part, and we simplify. If we put our 2 here, it's going to be x is equal to minus 2. For the second part, we say we simplify this in parts. Okay, x for here is going to be x. If we put our x to this other side, it's going to be 0 plus 5. That's why I just simplified my working to that part. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. So for my part C, part C, 7x squared minus 3x minus 0. Okay, this is how it is, the question that we are given. And notice that here we don't have our hand. We usually have our x squared minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. Our A, our B, our C. But for this part, we only have our A and our B. Okay? Right? So how are we going to solve this equation? It's so simple. We factor out the factors, that's x. We have x and 7x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay? So this is just how it's going to be. And when we have reached this part, we have already reached the stage that I simplified here. Okay, so for this part, we're going to say x here. This x is going to be equal to 0. We simplify it in parts, as I said earlier. 7x minus 3 is equal to 0. We simplify this part, 7x is equal to 3. Positive 3, we change the sign. We divide to obtain x. Divide. Now x is equal to 3 over 7. Okay, so this is another form of a quadratic equation. Most of the times they don't give you this formula. They don't highlight you that this sum has no exact factors. They don't. So you just have to see it. But in the case of like this that you are given, that they have highlighted to you that this case has no specific exact factors, then you use this formula. And as we had said earlier, I'll just write solution. We said 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. The one with the x squared is our A. The one with the x is our b. The one with just 1 or without any letter, the one without any letter would be your c, according to that equation. So you just now have to substitute these values into that equation, okay? So I'm going to say for us to obtain x, this is just a process for us to obtain x, not as we were doing in those other sums. So it's root minus b plus or minus root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we substitute, we get minus, this is our b, minus b, you put with the sign, minus 4 plus or minus root of, we put again b, that's minus 4 in brackets squared. As you can see, minus 4, we put our a, bracket a would be 3 times c, our c is 1, all over 2a, who is our a? Our a is 3. Then you simplify. So you have to obtain two answers here, since you have plus or minus, meaning that you are going to simplify this with the, okay, let me just do it, okay. So it's going to be x. For the first part, it's going to be, if we simplify this part, it's going to be plus 4, a positive, minus, you get a positive, plus 12. If I simplify this, which is in bracket, I'm going to get 16 minus 4 times 3, 12, 1 minus 12, all over, this is going to give me 2 by 3, 6. This is for the plus, or x is equal to, we write again 4, but now this part we put the negative, since I said it's the plus and the minus. So you put for the minus and you also put for the minus. We put for the plus and you put for the minus. Minus root of. So this sum is just the same, but it differs on the plus and the minus, okay? So here we get 16 minus 12 over 6. That's just how it's going to be. We simplify. Let me grab here so that we have some space. For the first part, for the positive, it's going to be x is equals to, if we simplify inside, it's 4 plus root of. If we simplify inside here, you get 4 over 6. So now the root of, we simplify again, 4 plus root of 4 is 2, right? We all know that. And over 6. Oh, 2 over 6. And if we add here, we're going to get 6 over 6, right? Meaning this is a 1 whole. Well, unfortunately, that's a whole number, but it doesn't usually have whole numbers. For the second part, x is equals to, we simplify again, 4 minus, we now know that root of 4 over 6. X is equals to 4 minus root of 2, 6. We simplify and get 2 over 6. And the answer, we simplify this 3, get 1/3. So 1/3 would be your x value for, so in x is equals to 1/3 or 1. This would be your answer. Okay? As with this. Let's solve this the quadratic way. Okay, so it's going to be A or X is equal to minus B. So you just have to know the formula by head because you are not going to be given it in the exam. Okay, plus minus, this is our solution. Just have to know this question by head, this formula by head, because this one won't be provided for you. B squared minus 4AC all over 2A is equal to, we simplify it, as we have said, 5x squared minus 3x plus 2. This is our A, this is our B part, and this is our C part. Okay? Simplifying into the equation, we put minus B plus or minus root of B squared minus 3 squared minus 4 times 5 times 2 over 2. A, what's A? It's 5. Okay, so A is 5, guys. A is 5. We simplify. Equals to, here we get 3 plus or minus root of, we simplify, we get 9 minus 4 by 5, 20, 20 by 2, 40. We simplify, we get 10. Okay, we obtain 10. Something went wrong, something. Yeah, my question is wrong. Because if we have a negative in this bracket, in the roots, it means we have, there's no root of a negative. So here it's a negative and you get a negative here. Okay. It's a negative, so it's a negative and you obtain a positive. There's no way you're going to, if you get a negative root, then it means you failed somewhere. Because there's no root of a negative now. Okay. So we simplify 3 plus root of 49 over 10, or 3 minus root of 49 over 10. Okay, we simplify. We simplify this. What do we get? Is equal to 3 plus root of 49. 3 plus root of 49 we get 7, right? Over 10 is equal to 3 minus 7 over 10. Simplify. No. This was for this part and this one for this part. Not equals to. So I'm going to say equal to, we simplify by 10 over 10 over minus this minus 4 over 10. We simplify 2 to 5 minus 2 over 5. So here our x is close to minus 250. And for this part our x is close to x. It's not every request that you obtain one of the factors being 1. No, it's just a coincidence. Okay, thank you. Ooh la la. Okay, so we've just reached one of my very interesting sums on quadratic equations. Okay, so for this one it reads, draw the graph of the function x squared plus 2x minus 2 from x is equal to minus 4 to x is equal to plus 3. guys, I'm going to teach you the very simplest way to deal with this sum. And whenever you see we are required to draw a graph of this sort, you just hurry, you don't take time. Okay, so what's going to happen is that solution. Okay, so our question says from x is equal to minus 4 to x is equal to plus 5. So this is the range with which they want our graph to be in, okay? So let me just say like the range of our graph is equal to from x minus 4 to plus 2. Okay, so this is kind of the range with which they want our graph to be. Okay, and now for the function, what are we going to do first? First, we draw a table. Okay, we have our x and we have our y. You put your x and you put your y. And we know that they required us to put a graph from minus 4 to plus 2. So, in this case, you just determine the scale that you want to use, whether you want to say minus 4, minus 3, a scale of 1, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 0. But you have to find a bit longer so that your graph will not be squashed. Okay? So, for this part, we're going to say minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 for the x values. We were required to put our graph from minus 4 to, meaning that your lower limit has to be minus 4 and your upper limit has to be plus 2. Okay? This is how it's gonna be. Now, what do you do for your y? Now, for your y, you say, for this question, it reads x squared plus x minus 2. You now substitute your, this is how it's actually, they just don't write it, but this is how it's really. Okay, so, you now substitute your x into y. The value you get, you put it here. Okay? So for the first part, I'll just show you. The rest, I'll just put the numbers. Okay, for the first part, I'm going to say minus 4 squared. We substitute minus 4 minus 2y. The value that we get is our y, guys. Okay? That's just how it's going to be. And you know, you guys are not allowed to use a calculator, but for me, hey, I'm very used to using a calculator. So some things, if I calculate them using my head, I will actually get them wrong. Okay, so for the first part, it's gonna be bracket of minus 4. You simplify plus bracket minus 4. Here I got 10. It's good. So this 10 is the one that you put here. So you just substitute all the values, one by one, all the values into the equation and you write for your y. Okay? So this is how it's gonna be done. So I'll just fill out the values for the other. But for now 3, let's do it together, guys. Plus minus 3. Minus 2. Get 4. Simplify again. Minus 2 squared plus bracket minus 2 minus 2. Okay, you get 0 here. Okay, we simplify for minus 1 plus minus 1. Minus 2 here. for 0. If we say 0, 0, minus 2 again. Oh, if we put 0 again, minus 2, put 1. Should I do this correctly? Minus 1 squared minus 1. Yeah, I did. Then for this one, we're going to get 1, 1, 2, minus 0 again. Okay. Now for 2. It's 2 squared. There's 2. Minus 2. 2 squared plus 2 minus 4. Okay, so this is how it's gonna be. So now we draw our graph, and please recheck my numbers. Maybe I would have incorrectly punched a number, but the full factor here is for you to substitute right. Now it's very unfortunate that I don't have a graph paper, but I will show you using a graph paper what I meant. But for now, I'm gonna draw the graph on board without any without using a graph paper, okay? So for my first part, I'm gonna say this is my x values are ending from 2 to right 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then this is 2, 4, then minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. You put the scale you want. For my y, it's reaching up to 10. So I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, from the lower bottom, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, I just entered minus 7. It doesn't matter whether you put 10 here or 5 or even 100. It's minus 5. It's gonna be okay. But please don't end at 4, 8, minus 2 exactly. Okay. So now to plot our graph, what are we gonna do? So this is your x-axis right here, this is your y-axis right here, y-axis. You put this arrow, you put your x-axis here. It's not a normal graph. You could have, okay, let me just write them. Write this off and put the actual things that are required. Okay. So after that, we now draw our graph, right? For minus 4, y is equal to 10. Yeah. For minus 3, y is equal to 4. For minus 2, y is equal to 0. For minus 1, y is equal to minus 2. Yeah. See that I'm following the column. I'm taking minus 4 and finding the y value for that. As we have said, this is our y-axis, and this is our y-axis, and this is our x-axis. For minus 1, it's minus 2. For minus 1, it's minus 2. Now for 0, it's minus 2. For x-axis being 0 is minus 2. Minus 2 again. For 1 being 0, for our 1, our y is 0. So this whole line, our y is 0, so it's here. Now for our 2, our y will be 4. Okay, now so for you to draw such a graph, it's gonna go like this. Nowadays we used to use you can use a refill that you find in your pen. Okay, like we used to put out the refill like this, and you go to your points on the graph paper because they would really actually want a smooth curve. So you actually put from point to point with your pen going round. Yeah, in your graph paper it won't be this big, but for you follow the lines. For this part you would actually pull out a very neat graph when you use your flow, okay? But if you are sure that if you are a good artist, is that an artist or something? You just follow the lines and yeah, so that's it. So after drawing your graph, then you now put y. You now put this is a graph for y is equals to x squared plus x minus 2. You have to write it in the graph that this is the graph for y minus x squared plus y is equals to x squared plus x minus 2. Okay, so we have answered the first question that read, draw the graph of the function x squared plus 2x minus 2. Okay, now for part B. Part B says hence find the approximate root of the equation. Find the approximate root of the equation. Now for the equation, they have said find the approximate root for the equation x squared plus x minus 2 is equals to 0. As we were doing earlier, find the roots, that's the same as find the x values. Okay, as we were saying earlier. So if you want to find the x values for this part, now using the graph, instead of using the quadratic formula or factorizing that, we're using the triangle curve. No, for this part we are now using the curve to find the roots. So how do we find the roots or the x values on the curve? Okay, so if it's written like this, these are our x values. These are x values, this one. And this is equal to our y value. Okay? This is where our y would be and this is where our x's would be. Okay, so if you know that our y here is equal to 0, for this equation our y is equal to 0. You go where your 0 is found on the y. You go where it says y is equal to 0 and you move, whether it's to your right or to your left, you find the parts on the curve that touches the y value on the x-axis. Okay, as I had said earlier, this whole line, this whole x-axis is equal to y is equal to 0. This equals to y is equal to 0. Okay, this whole line. So now for us to obtain the x values on y is equal to 0, we find the parts with which our curve crosses or touches the x value. So this is the part that it touches the x value, and also this is the other part. As we have said, for quadratic equation, you usually get two answers. I'm not sure the one. It's also quadratic. Okay, I will find it. But for solving the roots of the equation, we find the parts the curve touches the y, the x values. Okay, so it's this part and this part. So what does it read? Here it reads x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 2. So you can either return as x is equal to 1 or minus 2. So that's